You can ask any financial planner you want to ask. You can read any financial planning book you wish to read. And what you'll discover is the bedrock of any successful financial plan is disciplined saving. Today we want to talk to you about some successful strategies that might make you a better saver. In order to do that, we're going to draw parallels between successful dieting and successful savings. Now, much like being a disciplined saver is difficult, being a disciplined dieter is difficult. But people might be more familiar with strategies that people have employed in their diet that have proven to be successful than they are with strategies they can employ in their savings to make them successful. And if we think about the goals of a successful diet, it's really you're just trying to burn more calories than you consume. And this is extremely similar to being a successful saver. You're just trying to spend less money than you make. The first strategy we're going to talk about is category restrictive spending. Okay? The parallel that we're going to draw to our diet is a macronutrient specific restrictive diet. The two most common macronutrient specific restrictive diets are low carbohydrate diets or low fat diets. Okay? So if you were going to employ that kind of diet, you would identify foods that were either high in fats or high in carbohydrates, and you would just remove those entirely from your diet or almost entirely from your diet. In order to draw a parallel between that and say how you are spending your money, it will require that you look through your budget or you look through your credit card statements and you identify areas where you are consistently maybe overdoing it, consistently spending more money than you thought you were, or just consistently overspending, okay? And then you can set yourself some very basic rules in order to circumvent that spending. For some people, they might have trouble overspending at, say, Target. We've all been there. You go into Target, you get a few items, and you get to the checkout, and you're spending way more money than you had anticipated. This could be setting very specific rules about where you will shop. So some people, they can say, all right, Whole Foods tends to be on average a little bit more expensive than my local grocery store. So I'm just going to do the vast majority of my grocery shopping at the grocery store and only get a select few items from Whole Foods or a place like Trader Joe's. Some people might set other rules. They might never buy a brand new car. They can get away with buying a used car, and that is a hard and fast rule that they can employ in their lives. For some people, it might be looking at how they spend money on date nights. Appetizers can sometimes get away from you, particularly if there's something expensive like oysters. So you might set a basic rule that you and your spouse can easily adhere to, which says, when we go out to eat together, we're not going to have appetizers, or we're going to share one appetizer that is not oysters or something expensive, and then we'll get a regular entree and maybe a dessert. It could be something as simple as saying, I am not going to buy organic produce. I'm not going to buy brand new books. I'm not going to allow myself to navigate the internal shelves of Costco. These are just some very simple rules you can employ, which is one decision that solves 1,000, right? So you're saying, much like for a successful dieter, I don't eat carbohydrates, I don't eat fats. A successful saver might say, I don't shop at Target, I don't shop at Whole Foods, I don't buy new cars. Another popular strategy that people have used in dieting is intermittent fasting. And intermittent fasting is just breaking your day up into a period of the day where you're not eating at all and a period of the day where you are consuming all of your calories. For many people, this is not eating from the time they wake up till about lunchtime and then consuming all their calories between, say, noon and 6 p.m. Now, how might this work for spending? Rather than being able to do all of your shopping, and this is going to be strictly shopping that is outside of the necessities, okay? So when I'm talking about shopping here, I'm talking about discretionary spending, okay? So rather than allowing yourself to just buy something that comes to mind, to engage in impulse buying any day of the week, you're going to set up a day, perhaps Saturday, where that is when you're going to execute your transactions, okay? That doesn't mean you can't shop on the other days. It does mean that you just can put things into your cart. So Monday or Sunday through Friday, you're going about your business. You can put whatever it is that strikes you into your cart. You just can't execute the transactions until your predetermined spending day, okay? And on your predetermined spending day, and this is critical, in order to avoid impulse buying, you can't add anything additional to your cart on that day. So if your predetermined spending day is Saturday, there's no real shopping that's being done on Saturday. You're only buying the things that are already in your cart if you feel you still need them. How this will work, or the way that we've seen this work for people is, one, it puts a little bit of distance between when you put an item in your cart and when you actually execute the transaction. And what we've discovered is maybe by the time you get to your spending day, that thing that you thought you wanted on Monday, you no longer really want, or you no longer really need. Or however much you thought you were spending in a given week on discretionary items is way more when you see it all aggregated at the end of the week than you had imagined. Okay, and so what that will have, the effect that will have is you're going to be more selective with your purchases when you have to execute these on one day, and when you see the price tag of all your discretionary spending aggregated for the week. Disciplined savings is important. It's important for your future financial success, but it is difficult. So if you struggle to be successful by just sort of loosely restricting your spending, I suggest you try one of these two strategies.